Cool. We have one comic left for you tonight, I know. But he's awesome, super fun. He's closing us out, so put your hands together for one, the only Sean Helly.
Let's hear it for the dance. Yeah. Kind of a confusing way to pile all of them up there. Dan. I am Sean, and I shouldn't start like this, but I'm gonna confess I'm a little confused. I can't tell if this is the actual show or just the nightmare I've been having since May. Is this real? You're here. Yeah. Okay, that's what you say the nightmare too. I am wearing pants though, so I'm going to assume that this is the real thing and just proceed. Right. Of course, social media didn't exist when I was growing up, so we needed a different way of nudging certain kids towards suicide. Hard times. The solution came from America's unfailing source of good ideas, the White House. And it was called the Presidential Fitness Test. Did you all have to do this? The Presidential Fitness Test was the result of a crisis. In the mid-1950s, President Eisenhower determined that the children of the greatest generation had not moved since the war. Eisenhower blamed automobiles and the television mostly, but I'm guessing polio had a Maybe don't laugh at that, it's coming back. Eisenhower responded to the crisis by tapping the nation's foremost expert on physical and presidential fitness, who was Richard Milhous Nixon. And Nixon proceeded to ruin childhood for pretty much everybody. When I did the presidential fitness test, this was during the Clinton administration, it subjected children to 5 different trials. There were 2 runs, the mile and the shuttle. There were 2 ups, the sit and the pull. And there was also the sit and reach, which was really an early form of waterboarding. I would have preferred the pillory to any of these events. I now look like the vegan I am, but I grew up... Thanks for the confirmation. I grew up in a very large body. I was the first child in my grade school class to develop breasts. Something that should have been more celebrated. By the time I made it to junior high school, my body was influencing the tides. And so, the presidential fitness test went for me exactly as you would expect. I couldn't run, I could not reach, I could not up. And my classmates, unsurprisingly, they mocked me mercilessly. More surprising, my gym teacher joined them in the school who had dedicated his career to the well-being of children. Whenever I would finish an event, my gym teacher would announce my number or my time with this palpable, sneering condescension. And when I could not do a pull-up, he announced to everyone that I was a member of the Cheerio Club. Thank you. For those of you who didn't get my gym teacher's very good joke, a Cheerio is a 0, which is the number of pull-ups I'd done, and they were also something I was eating too much of, so it was really quite a good burn. At the time, I tried to tell myself that I'd passed the presidential fitness test by holding off on crying until I made it home. But I recently realized that I had actually crushed it in every event because I was doing something different and so much harder than all of my classmates. Take the shuttle run, for instance. The shuttle run tasked grade school children with remedying a bizarre Cold War crisis in which there were 2 chalkboard erasers like 30 feet away that you had to run to and bring back as quickly as possible, but just one at a time. This was to save us from the Russians, I think. Our leaders have not yet fallen in love, but what the event required children to do was run, stop, pivot 180 degrees, and come back the other way. For my classmates who weighed next to nothing, this was easy. I had to defy Newton's first law of motion, which was inertia, the tendency of large objects to continue forward in a line forever. The same was true of the pull-up. You learn when you're a larger person that the earth is really in to larger people. It holds onto them really tightly, and so to do the pull-up, I had to try to free myself from the earth's grasp. I'm really sorry, everybody. I have a lot more jokes about the presidential fitness test, some of which are arguably funny. But I also, this feels not right. We are suddenly living in a deeply dark moment. And just standing here trying to make jokes, it feels not right. And there's something I've been struggling with actually in the past week. If it's okay, I'd like to use our last minute or so together just to share this with you so that it's at least been said. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, you're lovely. It has been so cold in Chicago this month, so brutally cold. And last week I had to walk to this theater from my apartment, and as I was walking, I noticed a man sitting on the sidewalk, sitting on the ice that had covered the sidewalk. He had wrapped himself in fabric of every kind and color, and as I approached, his hand emerged with a cup in it. I felt that urge to look away, but our eyes found each other, and when they did, he shook his cup and he said to me insistently, "Please help the homeless, please help the homeless." And something in me shifted. I have long been the person who does nothing, who just keeps moving and trying to forget. But I realized in this moment, inaction is no longer an option for any of us. I realized that I had to step up and step in. And so I stopped. I stammered a bit. And I said to him, "You're not homeless, sir. You're unhoused." That lesson was more valuable than any I could have given him. It was more nourishing than any sandwich would have been. And I also want to say for clarity that I did not actually say that. I aspire to not be an asshole, but my classmates got that joke. And I love them, so I had to tell it one last time.